This gathering here today is about deliberately practicing finding the thought that feels better. And there's a big component to this that you've really got to make up your mind about. It has to not matter to you just for a little while, like the rest of your life, what anybody else thinks about where you are. In other words, you got to give that up. You cannot care anymore what anybody else's response to where you are is, because you know what? They're in a different place. So here you are, you've made it almost to Huma, and somebody that's already over there in Phoenix is belittling you for not finding your way to Phoenix yet. And we say, they don't know. They don't know how far you've come. For example, so you're in strong depression, doesn't matter why. You're in strong depression. It's that suffocating feeling. Now, the most empowering feeling, the feeling that is most natural to you in all of the world, is that feeling of utter empowerment. That's who you are. So anything that feels like disempowerment has got to be the worst feeling in the world. A feeling of betrayal, a feeling of not being able to do something, a feeling of helplessness or hopelessness. That is the opposite end of the empowering scale that really is who you are. So you're in this place of strong depression. Doesn't matter how you got there. And you want to feel good, you just don't have access to that. And so, in the middle of that depression, you find something that just makes you angry. Now, somebody watching you from the outside might say to you, your anger is inappropriate, but they don't know. They don't know what an improvement that anger was over that depression. They don't know the relief you felt when you discovered anger. They don't know. And if you don't know that the anger is an improvement and you let them criticize you for your anger, you're going to end right up back in depression where you were before. In other words, that's that cycle that we're talking about where you just go back and forth, barely reaching out but not moving on. But when you understand vibrational frequencies, and when you understand the vibrational frequencies the emotions are giving to you, then you understand that you could go from depression to anger while you can't go from depression to ecstasy. And you could go from anger to something that you're less angry about, because when you think about it, there are things that you are so angry about you spit nails, and there are things that you are less angry about. So there's quite a bit of fun range in anger. But then you can go from anger to just irritation or overwhelmment. You can go from overwhelmment to aggravation. In other words, all of those feel much softer than the anger. And then you can go from aggravation even to something that's funny, or from aggravation even to a piece of belief, or to a piece of hopefulness, or from hopefulness to a piece of maybe positive expectation, and from positive expectation to a place of really believing that it's going to be all right. But you don't do that all at once. Now, you are complex beings, because on some subjects you feel a stronger negative emotion, while on other subjects you feel a stronger positive emotion. And of course, if you have the ability to get yourself out of your depression and into a light enough anger that then you have access to some other thought, that's a bridge too. But the thing that we're wanting most of all for you to hear is you've got to stop beating up on yourself as someone else tries to measure you with where they are. Because this is not a game where you're comparing yourself to anyone else. This is your vibrational frequency game. Your emotions are about you. They're about you and your relationship to your source. That would be like plugging a toaster in and it's not working and blaming the waffle iron. Well, the waffle iron doesn't work, and so it's probably what's wrong with the toaster. And we say, it's your relationship with your source. That's all it is. It doesn't have to do with anybody else. And the more you try to include others in it, then the more complicated it is. So often you say, and it's true, I would feel better if you would behave differently. And we say, but there's no hope in getting very far in that, because unless they're really little or really powerless, you're not going to have much control over what they do. And besides that, there's more than one of them. Haven't you noticed as soon as you get that one lined up to please you, that one squirts out the other edge and starts misbehaving? And so if your happiness depends upon controlling even one circumstance, you're in deep doo-doo, because you can't control the circumstances. All you have a prayer, and you do, of controlling is your own vibrational relationship with your own source. So, if you find yourself in some negative emotion, We want you to not panic about it. Don't beat up on yourself. It's a really interesting thing. You're focused upon something that you do not want, or on the lack of something that you do want. And without meaning to, you beat the drum of it until it's sort of your vibrational habit. And so it seems like this thing that you want is not coming. And then you say something like, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in this place that I don't want to be. And we say, you're not stuck, because nothing stands still. What's actually happening is you're so focused on what is that you're beating the drum of what is and holding the vibration of what is, so more of what is continues to show up in your experience. But it's different what is. In other words, you're not stuck. You're just creating the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. So rather than saying, I don't have enough money, I'm stuck in not enough money, instead begin saying a more accurate assessment. I keep recreating not enough money. I keep beating the drum, so I keep creating the same circumstances over and over again, but they are changing circumstances. The faces are changing, the places are changing, the circumstances are changing. I just keep recreating the same thing. I keep recreating this thing that I want, or I keep recreating this thing that I don't want, but understand, you are not stuck. You are never standing still. You are always pulsing a vibration, and the universe is always responding to your pulsing vibration. So when you say, I get it. I am pulsing a vibration and the universe is responding to my pulsing vibration, and I have control over the vibration that I pulse. Now you're on your way to deliberate creating. I can affect the way I feel by choosing the thought that feels better. But sometimes what happens? So you've been beating a drum, meaning talking about it, thinking about it, talking about it, observing, thinking about it, talking about it, join groups, talking about it, thinking about it. A sort of pattern of vibration is going on within you. Your friends say, how are you? You say, I thought you'd never asked. Now you can send out emails in the gross. You can put people on your email list and send bad news instantaneously to all of them at the same time. So as you are beating the drum of this thing that you do not want, sometimes not even realizing that you're doing it, and then creating this thing that you do not want, then in this awareness that you're not where you want to be, now you feel negative emotion about the negative emotion. In other words, it just sort of compounds itself. And then when you say, oh, here I am in this depression, I need to be in a place of positive emotion, and you reach for the positive emotion and you can't find it because it's not vibrationally accessible to you, then you feel more negative emotion because you know you should feel better. And that is the trap that we want to help you relieve yourself from here today. We want to help you to realize that you're never standing still, and you can't get to where you want to be all at once. No one can. So stop beating up on yourself about the vibration that you can't achieve, and just do your best to feel as good as you can feel right now. Reach for the best feeling thought that you can find. It's like if you are in San Diego and your destination today is Phoenix, and you find yourself in Yuma, you don't beat up on yourself because you're not in Phoenix. You say, I'm on my way to Phoenix. But we don't see that so much, where you are standing in the place of sickness and you want wellness, and you're in this place of not wellness and you're beating up on yourself. And we say, you're on the way, you're on the way, you're on the way. You can't stand still. You're always on the way. You're always on the way to something. So wouldn't you like to be really on your way to Phoenix? You don't go from San Diego to Yuma to San Diego to Yuma, San Diego to Yuma to San Diego to Yuma to San Diego to Yuma to San Diego to Yuma when you're really on your way to Phoenix, because you don't beat up on yourself when you're in Yuma for not being in Phoenix. But when you are sick and wanting to be well, and sick and wanting to be well, and sick and wanting to be well, and you're beating up on yourself for not being well, beating up on yourself for not being well, beating up on yourself for not having enough money, you hold yourself in this pattern where you don't let yourself go where you really want to go. Esther said to Jerry, I like it when I have really good shock absorbers. And what she means is their monster bus had inadequate shock absorbers for its weight. And shortly after they took it out about a year ago, they hit a big bump and the shock absorbers lost their power. And then every little bump they hit, they were hitting bottom. And when something that big and that heavy hits a bump, it is a bump. And of course, they took it back to the factory and they put very adequate shock absorbers, so now Esther can wail down the freeway at outrageous speeds and hit all the bumps she wants, and they just fly in the air a little bit, but they're not hitting bottom. And Esther says, I like it when my shock absorbers are like that, where I am so connected with source energy that it does not matter what sort of ripples are in the way. I don't feel them because I ultimately know that all is really well in my world. I no longer need the world to line up in some specific way, whether it's the greater world out there, the world in Iraq, or the world in Washington, or the world of the economy, or even the world of my employees, or the world of my family. I don't want to need anybody to have to be different than they are in order for me to feel good. I want to be so aware of the way I feel and so aware of my choices in thought that I maintain my connection to my source so that the world can percolate along as it chooses and I am joyful anyway. And we say, that is what unconditional love is. It says, the conditions do not affect my connection to my love or to my source. The conditions can be whatever they choose to be. They have nothing to do with me. My work is about paying attention to the things that are coming out of my mouth, the things that are moving through my mind, the things that I'm talking about, thinking about, speaking about, the drum that I am beating. My work is to do my best to beat the drum that feels the best to me. So, as we are moving forward here today, we are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. And you will notice that as we are moving along, there'll be a sort of pattern developing. In other words, you gathered in this room even before your bodies got here. You have been, many of you, thinking about this gathering for some time, and the energy is lined up for leading edge creation. It is co-creating at its best. As we are visiting with you, it is our desire to assist you in finding the thought that feels a little better. And sometimes that's going to annoy you because you're going to sit in this chair, many of you, and you're wanting to beat the drum of something that's gone wrong, and you want us to help you jump all the way to the solution. Sometimes all you want is a prediction for an improved solution. Sometimes you want the process for the improved solution. And it's going to annoy some of you because we're just going to tell you all the same thing over and over and over again, which is you just have to reach for the thought that feels better. But it is our expectation as we chew here together today, you will hear enough and see enough and feel enough from what's going on as person after person moves their vibration closer to what they are wanting, that if you want, by the time this gathering is finished today, you will absolutely, without exception, understand that you are the creator of your own reality and that you can, without exception, achieve anything that you want, just one little vibrational, emotional movement at a time. We want you to leave this room so empowered that when someone says to you, you should not be mad, that you can look right at them and be mad. That you can look right at them and say, I be what I be, and I am working on something other than that, but I be what I be. I'm incrementally moving to the perfection that is me. Jerry used to tell a story about biscuits that were in the oven that got cooked in the squat. Before they had a chance to raise in the way they were supposed to, they cooked. And they were these flat little biscuits that were cooked in the squat. And we want you to understand that you can never get cooked in the squat because you never get done. You are never finished in your creative process. No creation is ever complete. Sometimes when someone else shines a spotlight on you, you feel like you've been caught in the act of completion. And what you might say to them, in fact, it might be a good way to express it to them. Just say to them, when they say you should not be angry, just say, oh, no, I never get cooked in the squat. They won't know what it means, and it's just as well. But you'll know what it means. You know that you are a work in progress, and just because somebody has taken a look at you in the moment that you are transitioning from an emotion to a better feeling one and a better feeling one and a better feeling one and a better feeling one, only you know that you are making progress about this, you see. And this is the thing that we so much want you to hear. When you know that this anger is a relief from the depression that you are feeling, and you don't beat up on yourself for being angry, but instead you pat yourself on the back because you made a good choice, you've made progress. And now you can stabilize where you are. You don't have to go back into the depression. Do you hear the difference? And now when you stand in the anger, and you know anger isn't where you want to stay, so you're reaching for mild annoyance, and you find it, even though mild annoyance is not your goal, it is better than the anger that you felt, and you know you've made improvement, and you can pat yourself on the back and stabilize. Can you feel that?